And I want to talk real quick about energy enthusiasm. And I know for a lot of you, you're boiling with this. This is not a problem for you. But I think the reason why this is important to talk about is as a business speaker, the dynamic changes a little bit. And I want to just kind of prepare you for some of the little nuances, some things that happen, and what you can do to better prepare yourself on the day of the event. But I guess kind of what I'm saying is we need to learn how to be a speaker. And I don't just mean the speaking part of it. I mean how we carry ourselves as a speaker, because it's different. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but if you're, let's say, part of a Rotary Club and you are asked to speak there, the day you're the featured speaker, you're kind of treated a little differently. And there's good parts of that, and there's kind of challenges to that. So you want to be prepared for both of those scenarios. And that's all we wanted to talk about. It's a different set of expectations. It's a different role for you. You're used to coming in and sitting down or networking, and now you've got to worry about the AV. You've got to worry about your handouts. You've got to worry about your product table at the back. You've got to worry about all this stuff that you didn't have to before. So one of the things I like to remind people is that you are on stage from the minute you are on site. So from the parking lot to the presentation, you've got to be in game time mode. And we talked about in the second module that you don't want to be something you're not, right? So I'm not saying you have to go into character, but I am saying, hey, if you're having one of those days, the expectation is that you're going to be up, you're going to be ready, you're going to be positive when you get there. And whether someone catches you in the parking lot, or someone catches you in the restroom, or someone catches you backstage, you got to be prepared to be on. It's funny when you hear people talk about celebrities or sports figures that the negative stories you hear are not necessarily in their realm, in their zone where they can control the variables. It's you catch a guy at the grocery store, or you caught a guy in a parking lot or the restroom, and they're not prepared. And maybe they're not nice people naturally, I don't know, but you've got to just know that once you get there and get out of your car, it's ready to go. It's game time. So just be prepared for that. And even with the groups, it's going to be a little bit different. Staying positive. You're going to have tough days. You're going to hit traffic. You're going to be running late. You're going to be rushing. Just deal with it. It's going to be okay. You can't let it change your focus. You can't let it change your preparation. You don't want to change your presentation and go up there and complain. Now, it may make great banter or a funny story. I had a time where I was going up to Reno, and I thought the roads were clear, and it turned out that you had to get chains, and I was running late, and it was one thing after another that day, and I got to the hotel, and they were in a different room, and the elevators broke. It was just a series of comedic errors. And so my adrenaline was going so much that by the time I hit stage, which was literally minutes after I got there, I felt compelled to tell the story, but I used it as a funny anecdote to make fun of myself. And it loosened me up a little bit, and it loosened the crowd up. So, stuff's going to happen. Just keep a good mindset, and it's okay. It'll all work out. Next one is find a little privacy. Again, you may not be used to being the center of attention. You may not want to be the center of attention. But when you're the speaker, you're the center of attention. So you may need to find a place where you can slow down and relax a little bit, where you can settle in and just get ready for the day, for the presentation. And we have to remember we're going into a little bit of chaos. We're dealing with a lot of volunteer organizations, and they're not always going to be prepared. They're not always going to be organized. Don't take it personally. Just go in there, check your ego at the door, and just be prepared to help them in any way you can. Right? So just be patient, be helpful, because they're doing the best that they can. One thing also, you got to remember you're the speaker. So one of the other different things is not only are you going to be probably spoken to or treated differently, but you're going to be expected to go out and carry yourself like a speaker. And a speaker's job is to go out and kind of work the room a little bit. So, I would much rather go hide from everybody before an event, but The best thing you can do when you get there is go work the room, get out, introduce yourself. It's crazy what kind of connections you can create when you're the speaker and they are chatting with you, and it makes it easier on stage, and you start to develop relationships so much faster. So if you only speak in a few times a year, man, get out there and really take advantage of it before, during, and after the time you're actually on stage. And last but not least, I mean, this is kind of a life lesson from mom, right? But just be helpful and easy to work with. One of the first things I do when I get to an event is I'll ask the organizer, "What can I do to help?" I don't care. I'm not a diva. I'm grateful for the opportunity, whether I'm being paid or it's free. I'm part of the crew. I know how hard it is to put on an event, and I've showed up and I'm prepared and I'm ready to go. So I don't mind pitching in, and they really appreciate that. So at the end of the day, be yourself. Show them the same positive person on and off the stage, and just know that you are holding a different position that day, and be prepared mentally and physically to both take advantage of it and do it justice. Okay.